Feminism doesn't really have its own root. That's what I mean when I say it's parasitic on other kinds of philosophies.
I see.
So, you'll have some forms of feminism that take a liberal view of reality. You have some that take a Marxist view of reality, some that take a radically postmodern view of reality. So that's where you have to look, because the roots are actually kind of different in a way. But I guess I have a few thoughts on what you've said. One, I think it's good to always ask questions and to question like, oh, here's something I've assumed to be true forever. Is it actually true? I think that's great. But also, I guess I have kind of a Aquinas approach to feminism in the way that I'm interested in, okay, what is true here, if anything? Like, what is potentially compatible with a Christian understanding of reality? Maybe there's nothing, but maybe there's something, right? And I think Aquinas's approach, his kind of generous and not afraid kind of approach to other things like pagan philosophy or Muslim philosophy, and how he would use some of those tools or resources but always from this like solidly Christian perspective, right? So he wasn't going to say, He wasn't concerned who said it. He was concerned whether or not it was true. Exactly.
I like that. That's excellent. Because you could imagine the quote unquote trads of Aquinas' day being like, well, I'm so sorry. Like, if you're going to be drawing from that kind of pagan.
Yeah, exactly. But he was also very, sort of respectful. And you could make the argument, well, okay, but when you look at Judaism or even Aristotelian paganism or even Islam, like there's a lot more overlap in those Venn diagrams in terms of there's a creator and, the world is intelligible to us and reality exists, blah, blah, blah,
Fair
which
enough,
I think is totally true. So that's where I think you kind of need to begin. So I guess I think that kind of generosity toward other philosophical systems is just a good general approach as a Catholic, whether it's feminism or whether it's, Islam or Buddhism or whatever. But not getting, I think what's essential though in engaging with feminism is paying attention to what the animating worldview is behind it. Because that's where you're going to see things go kind of haywire a little bit. And because feminism doesn't have a lot of content to it, is never had a good metaphysics. And that's actually why we're in this strange place that we are now culturally, where you have self-professed feminists making the argument that men can just declare themselves women and then they're women, So I still, even when I say that out loud, I'm still like,
you're like, that can't be right.
Like, is this happening? Like, yes, it is. I'm radical because
So if I sat across at the table from a feminist who was, belaboring the ways in which women have been oppressed throughout history and felt herself a part of this group, and then I, in all sincerity, went, I'm a woman. I guess I would just now share in her plight.
I would love for you to do that. Can you arrange that?
I will.
Because
it is just insane.
Right.
That's the word to use. It's just not logical. It's stupid.
That's correct. It's not logical. So I think there are a couple of reasons that feminism has succumbed to this. One, because feminism has since the second wave, I would say, feminism has had an ambivalent relationship to even the category woman, right? Because feminist thought tends to be very anti-essentialist, so very anti the idea that there are kind of fixed natures of men and women, or that men and women are essentially different, right? Feminism, by and large, tends to say no. Those sorts of differences are primarily socially constructed, and they're constructed in a way that oppresses women.
This is where the Marxism comes in.
Yeah. So that's exactly. So that's their main argument. But then then there's this kind of weird, like, snake eating its own tail thing, where you're basically arguing that, well, women don't really exist.
And we need to fight for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, women, like, even the category of woman is primarily a social construct, but yet
a man can be that.
I'm in a movement that's supposed to be defending women, right? So there's this kind of tension there where, so the way out of that tension has traditionally been just like a nominalist position, which is, okay, well, we use the word woman, or we use the category woman in this kind of nominal way, but we're not pointing to something essential. But nonetheless, it's a category that has an effect on women who are read into that category, blah, 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 right? So because feminism has primarily seen women from a nominalist perspective rather than an embodied perspective that's really rooted in this kind of concrete material reality that's not just socially constructed, then I think it lends itself to, because yeah, if woman is just a social construct, then why can't a male inhabit it, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the argument of kind of trans affirming feminists. Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.